Hello!
Oh.
We've started a new episode of the Freaky NANNER Show.
Freaky Nana.
Ooh, pinching the knees.
I want to start off by telling everybody that if you see someone you want to have sex with and you know they're not going to have sex with you, just tell them that they're transphobic, and then they will.
Yeah, they have to.
They have to if you tell them that.
In this episode, I've already drank it, unfortunately. So it's not a sober episode, but fairly is by Wilderness Trail Bourbon. Look at that. Single barrel, 100 proof, bottled in bond. I tried to save it. It just didn't work out that way. And I didn't have time to shop today. So, this is what you get.
Sheboygan.
See, you can still hear the...
That sounded fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Smell that cap.
Oh, yeah. See, this whiskey has a special feature. Most whiskeys use like a starter batch of for their fermentation, and they go barrel to barrel, and they just take pieces of the starter fermenter. And this one, every time they make a new barrel, in the single barrel type, they create a new starter for it. So it has a sweeter, more corny. It says right on the bottle, 64% corn mash. So it's sweeter, real smooth, real delicious. Bottled and bond, 100 proof. Can never go wrong. Bottled and bond, you can get the cheapest shit there is. $16 bottle of bottled and bond is delicious for the price. So you can never go wrong with that. This is about 5 times the price.
Portnoy.
Dave Portnoy.
I just want everybody to know that the allegations against me in regards of the whole deal with John Stamos and me, I mean, neither of us, John Stamos and I, or Nanner here, I just want to make it clear that the allegations aren't true.
Not true at all.
John Stamos has always been...
I've been a good friend of John Stamos for over a decade.
Yeah. And
that remains true today.
Yeah.
We never said anything bad about John Stamos. Never.
Yeah.
And I never will.
John Stamos
this hat
changed my life.
Going crazy.
Is a really a miracle worker, And for anybody that thinks badly about him or anything, like, talk to anybody else like me or Nanner, and we'll tell you straight, because whatever you guys heard about us and John Stamos recently, it's not true. I don't know where that came from. I'm sure you've seen it all over the internet, but it's not true.
And this hat is true. It's really fucking annoying. John Stamos. We love you, John Stamos. Hashtag John Stamos. Hashtag RIP Bob Saget.
What happened to Bob Saget was very tragic.
Very tragic. I mean, he apparently... At first, they didn't know what happened to him. And apparently, he fell down at some point. Who knows when, where he hit his head, but he hit his head. Probably passed out, woke up, and then felt woozy still. So he laid on his bed, took a nap, and that's how they found him peaceful. Fell asleep, and he had bleeding in his brain. Lost internal bleeding, killed him. That's sad. Bob Saget was a good guy, great comedian.
I'm just glad that he died peacefully.
Like I was always, I can't remember the year. It's been probably 15 years since I originally actually saw him perform on stage after, all the Full House and all that shit. And then I saw him do a special can't remember which one it was, but he played the guitar and all this, and he was super dirty. And I was like, that's Bob Saget? I was like, I've known him all my life.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's blowing my mind. Like, just the fact that the fact that you grow up with him as this clean-cut dad on Full House and America's Funniest Videos,
Mm-hmm.
and then you hear comedy and you're like, holy shit. Just, it throws you off, but it's so magical.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody loved him. He's a good guy. And another sad loss is the great Louis Anderson.
Yeah, man. First Meatloaf, then at the very same time, like before we could even catch ourselves, Louis Anderson.
Louis fucking Anderson.
Who's gonna wash?
Right now I'm washing lettuce.
Yeah.
But pretty soon I'll be cooking fries, and then they'll make me assistant manager, and that's when the big bucks roll.
Yeah. Now there's nobody to wash the lettuce.
Samuel L. Jackson was in that movie too, and he looks like he's 20.
Mm-hmm.
He looked older in that movie than he does now. And Louis Anderson's dead and looked fatter now and more disgusting than he did then.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I felt really bad because, like, I liked Louis Anderson, but I watched a stand-up of him not long ago, actually, probably like a month and a half before he died, and it was painful to watch. It was almost
a lot of it, he's just reliving problems that he had with his family.
Yeah, it was kind of like a
stand-up,
a watered-down Jim Gaffigan stand-up.
But he was still funny. He did. Did you ever watch Baskets with Zach Galifianakis? Where he was Zach Galifianakis' mother.
I think I remember hearing about that, but I never saw it.
He was so good in that. It was so awesome.
I think
that's the best part of the whole show is Louis.
I think Louis Anderson is a funny person.
Yeah.
I just didn't think his stand-up was very funny.
No.
But I think that I
mean, he had some good stand-up.
I think naturally, just as a natural being, he's just naturally funny at being himself, And
he had a cat in the show. His name was Ronald Reagan. Oh, Ronald Reagan.
Oh, man.
I like Louis, though. Mm-hmm. No one like him.
Yeah.
It just reminds... but that other story I was telling, Freak, kind of the story of... I don't have her name handy. She's not a big-time comedian. She's from LA. But she had same thing happen to her while she was on stage making a joke about Jesus loving her because she had the COVID shot. She got her booster. She still has her period, all this. And then she says, Jesus must love me more than... must love me the most. And then she has like a stroke on stage and falls backwards and bangs her head on the hard-ass stage and goes to the hospital. As she's saying, Jesus must love me more.
That's the right way to do it.
But she survived. She's all right. But that's like the same thing Bob Saget. That's why I was wondering, because from what I've heard, that's possibly booster shot related, that she's right in that time where if you're going to have side effects from getting the booster shot, that could be it. And that's just what I heard. I don't know. Who knows?
Who not know?
I'm not saying that to be true, but I am thinking about having an epic episode of the show pretty soon.
Yeah.
I want to find a time. I was thinking of going crazy. I'll have to talk to you about it after the show, because I don't want to reveal it now. But I had a real idea to go perfect. And we've mentioned it a few times about doing a live show.
Mm-hmm. And
I want the live show to be something fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And by crazy, I mean shit you've never seen on the internet before happen live.
Mm-hmm.
It's two people. You just look at two people and you're like, oh, it's just two people. And then after that, you're like, I want to be him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's so hot.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, I want to give all my all. Put it so deep inside that it makes him so
Steel
tasty.
magnolias.
God, Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise and John C. Reilly together.
We're getting closer and closer to being able to realize my dream of
Oh, you
eating.
said Steel Magnolia. I meant Magnolia. The
My dream, as a lot of people know, is that
Liv Tyler.
I want to eat cereal out of a skull.
Yeah,
Um,
we're
but
getting close.
the closer I get to my dream, the better. And I just purchased a jawbone, a human jawbone, and so that's part of the skull, man.
Yeah.
And once I get the funds, I'll be getting a full skull. The funds.
But we might make a bowl of cereal together and lick it
Yeah.
out of it.
I'll eat anything out of it.
Together, we'll both be like, oh.
Mm-hmm. That'll be great.
We're family. There's no shame.
Mm-mm.
I did hear some updated news on the great Stephen Allen Penley today.
Oh. Let me hear this news.
That he was sentenced to, I think he technically was sentenced to like 5 to 20 years originally for this latest charge. But he's already done an extra year. And turns out that he had actually gotten another charge while he's in prison for up to 5 more years.
Oh.
So probably likely he'll see another 5 years at least. That's what I'm hearing. And he says his reasoning for it is that he don't have any money because nobody's sending him money, and he can't function properly without his daily coffee.
Oh, coffee.
So if Steve just had his coffee every day,
he'd have
gotten out of prison.
Do they even give them real coffee? I thought
No,
they
it's instant coffee.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, you just take the heaters that are on the wall and you stick your water on it, get the water heated up, and then you put the instant coffee in it and mix it up. Because they don't give you hot water. So you can't get straight hot water. You got to make it yourself.
Oh, stupid.
Yeah, but Steve just had his damn instant coffee. He'd have got all.
He'd have been out.
Just got to send them money.
Boy, just got to send me that money, boy. Swear. I ain't going to
Just got to send them that money.
Send me that cashola.
He's got a big screen TV already. He just needs that coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Big old screen TV.
Mm-hmm.
He's putting those eggs on simmer for a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Right now.
Right now.
He's in jail. Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now. Zip. They just zip that damn room shut every night.
He looks out the window and he goes, Ripcord, is that you?
Yeah, is that you, Ripcord?
And then they go,
Justin Bieber, is that you?
They go, shut up. And then they shut the door.
Oh, yeah. It's weird to not talk to a brother for, I don't know, 6, 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
But there's good reason for it.
It's funny because I mean, I don't think about it this way because, like, they're my sisters, but, like, technically I have 2 half-sisters and 1 full sister.
Mm-hmm.
And my half-sisters I'm closer to than my full sister. And even though she actually lives with my mom, who I see the most out of all of them, I probably see my full sister, maybe twice a year. And that's, like, legit. My other sisters, my 2 half-sisters, I see them at least once a month. And it's just weird. But,
what can you do?
What can you do?
And I see my half-brother. I see my half-sister exactly 0 times because she did. My half-brother. Saw him at Papa's funeral.
Papa.
That's the last time I saw him for a few years. Papa.
Oh.
What you got here? What you got here?
I went to Vegas.
Don't sign no papers.
I went to Vegas. I saw a naked man in the Fremont Street. He had like one of those bow wrap bikinis on, and he was flopping his wiener around, and he had a sign that said "Make America Naked Again." And I was thinking about taking a picture of him, like from far away, like a sneaky picture. Then all of a sudden, I seen this couple doing the same exact thing I was going to do, and he was flopping around, throwing a sign around, and then all of a sudden, like an eagle eye type thing, he just saw him, and he stopped right in the middle of mid flop, and he just started running towards them, and he goes, "Hey, I want to appreciate you guys trying to take a secret photo of me without paying me some money." And he was, the whole time he was yelling, his little Peter was going like this, and I couldn't stop looking. I was entranced by it.
Tiny Peter syndrome.
And after that, I was like, I'm not going to take a picture because I don't want that guy to run up to me and do that same
Flop
thing.
his Peter in your face.
Yeah, so.
You don't take a picture of me.
Yeah, then I seen this other, then I seen this lady. She was a big fat lady, and she was in
Tutu?
No, she was in one of them, like Rascals.
Oh.
And she was topless, and her boobs had to have been like this big, and they were real saggy, and they had little stickers over the nipples. And she was going, ah, and her arms were flapping like this. She had a sign, and it said "broke ass stripper" on it, and she was shaking her arms like that, and her boobs were going like that. And I was just like, what the hell? That was crazy. And then I was gambling. I was inside one of the casinos, and I'm gambling. It's early in the morning, and I look over, and this guy's falling asleep like this, like he's starting to fall asleep. And while he's gambling, he's got a cigarette in one hand, he's got his drink in the other hand. He's falling asleep, and I thought that I seen one of the guys that worked there saw him, and he's walking towards him, and I'm thinking like, oh, this guy's gonna get kicked out. And this guy stands by him and just watches him sleep for like a minute straight, just watches him, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And then finally the guy goes, hey, shakes the guy awake, and goes, and the guy, he goes, either gamble or get out. And the guy's like, oh, and he just starts gambling again. And I'm like, he's like, get to work, spend your money.
Spend your money or die.
And then I won like $30, and my thing's going ding 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 ding, and all the money's coming on. You can see all the coins on the screen, like, and I'm waiting for it to fill up, and I'm sitting there while it's going on, and all of a sudden this guy comes up right next to me, and he goes, "Hey man, I was wondering if I could have some money for some dinner." And I just looked at him, and I was like, "I don't have any money," and the thing's going ding 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 ding, filling up, and then he just looks at me and kind of like didn't want to argue with me and walks away. And I'm like, man, that wasn't nice of me to do, but he's probably not gonna buy dinner with that money. No. He's probably gonna buy something not good for you.
Maybe he's gonna get a number 9 at that buffet. Man, that number 13 looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Viva Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Viva Las Vegas.
Las Vegas is fun to go to, but for me, the least fun part about it is the gambling. And in my opinion, the funnest things that you can do in Vegas are almost free to do. That's just me.
I always watched those shows back in the day. I don't know if that stuff exists anymore. They taught you how to go to Vegas and not spend any money. They'd be like, you get free coupons for everything. You can get a free steak dinner, free buffet, free blah, blah, blah.
It might have been used to be like that. It's not really like that now. Like, nothing's free. Even if, like, they said that, like, you get drinks for free as long as you're gambling. You literally have to be constantly putting your money in a machine for, like, a half hour to get a free drink. Because they see you. As soon as you sit down, they'll come and ask you if you want a drink. Mm-hmm. But there's cameras everywhere, and they all have things on their heads and stuff, and there's people literally watching you while
they're looking for the big spenders.
Yeah, and as soon as you stop, even if you already ordered your drink and everything, as soon as they see you stop gambling, they're not coming to your table, or wherever you're at to bring you your drink. You have to
hit that help button. Keep hitting the help button. You're like, what do you need help with, sir? He's like, I don't need help. I need a fucking waitress. Where's my drink? I can't spend any more money. I'm getting sober.
Yeah. It's just the best thing you can do is there's little side stores off the road, off Fremont and stuff, and they're liquor stores, and you can just buy your own liquor, and then you just get a foam cup or whatever, and you just pour it in there because you can't have like bottles and shit out there, so you just pour it in that and just walk around with that and literally get drunk for free, like not free, but for a lot cheaper.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we went to a burlesque show. It was called Zombie Burlesque, and basically the theme was like everybody in the show was supposed to be zombies, and basically it's in a time where zombies coexist with humans, and zombies are entertaining you and stuff, and all the women were like sexy zombies, and it was entertaining, but none of the women had hardly any boobs, and they'd be like, "Oh!" and they'd pull off their thing and shake their no boobs or whatever.
Flappy nipples.
Yeah, they barely had any boobs, and there was one lady that did have really big boobs, and we thought that for sure she was gonna wait. They were gonna wait till the end for that one.
Show that.
She never did. She never showed. She never pulled.
My boobs are too good.
See, my theory is, I think that maybe they didn't look good. Maybe there's something wrong with them.
Could be.
And they didn't.
One was real big and one was real small.
Yeah,
She
so
stuffed it to make it look even.
That's why they did that. But I don't know. It was an okay show. It was funny. Like as far as like sexiness goes, like out of like the enjoyment of like the women and stuff, I would rate it a 6 out of 10. But out of entertainment, the entertainment factor out of it was probably an 8 out of 10 because it was pretty funny. There was a lot of funny stuff that happened in it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We went to this Brazilian barbecue place where they shave off meat.
Oh, yeah.
And there's like, you want some more? What's that? Yeah. And they're like, you want more meat, sir? This is garlic braised beef and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, come on, keep going with the beef. And keep coming with the meat, man. And everybody else was like, oh, I'm so full. And I'm like, keep coming with the meat.
Give me the fucking meat.
I want more meat. And they brought me like 11 different kinds of meat. And I ate it all. And everybody was like, how are you doing this? And I'm all sweaty, sweat's dripping from me. And I'm like,
surprised you could take a shit after.
Oh, yeah, it was big. It was, right after we left there, I told everybody, I was like, I'll meet you guys wherever. I got to go back to my hotel room.
I just got to check something real quick.
Yeah.
Make sure I turn my light off. I'm about to turn all the lights off.
Did I tell you about how I got a better hotel room than everybody else?
Yeah. That's nice. Wish that would happen. That happened to us one time at a casino. I think it was like Firekeepers Casino. When we went there, we were late and then they didn't have any rooms up, but we'd already paid for our room, so they gave us a nice room.
Nice.
It was
should be late every time.
Rooms. But it doesn't happen that often. But sometimes it does. Just happens to be the right time. They upgrade your room for free.
What?
But I was real sick, so I didn't get to enjoy it.
That's lame.
I couldn't even get my dinger hard. I was so sick.
It's not right.
No. But I still enjoyed my time. Firekeepers, it's okay. But keeping with current news, one thing I did want to talk about this week, well, this month I should say, it's been 1 month for each podcast. But I wanted to talk about the hype about cryptocurrency.
Yeah, fucking crypto.
Crypto, I don't know how many there are. There's probably 25 different cryptocurrencies currently, and some of them are awful. And I'm assuming that at some point, like, Facebook's going to make their own for the metaverse, blah, 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 blah.
Metacurrency.
But I just want to explain to people why cryptocurrency specifically. Like, we could talk about NFTs. I haven't done a lot of research on the NFT thing because a lot of it still doesn't make sense to me. Because it's stupid, because anything being an NFT, but there's like digital studio things you can come out with, digital artworks and multiple pieces on one type of artwork. People have one artwork that has 100 or 1,000 different variations of the same stupid thing. So all that's just stupid. Why would you want anything that was even similar to somebody, and why would you pay thousands of dollars for it? We can get into that at a different time. I'm just talking crypto particularly because basically what I want to try to make people understand is that the idea of cryptocurrency is that you have a decentralized monetary system that keeps people from being able to inflate it. So it's worth what it's worth no matter what. So if everybody used the same type of currency, then the currency would be like a trade value specifically. So it'd be like the old days. You're like, I'll trade this silk blanket for the piece of silver. And people go, oh, pretty valuable to me, so sure. And that's how cryptocurrency would work. That's the idea behind it. And in order to get cryptocurrency, there's one way you can do it. You can have a multitude of computers and you can do math problems all day to prove that you're human, and you basically mine these cryptocurrencies and you send them to an account. Problem is that when you get the cryptocurrency, you know what the truth is about cryptocurrency is that it's not worth $1. It's not worth anything. You know what it's worth? It's worth money. So what do you do with it when you get it? There's only one thing you can do with it. You can go to a website that takes crypto, that particular crypto, and you can trade it for something. So it has that trade value, but you can't buy a house with it. You can't buy anything with it, basically. You know what you do with it? You trade it for money. It's on the trade market. You trade it for money. So guess how that works? You're not getting anything. You're basically spending your money to get something that you hope makes money.
Mm-hmm. An imaginary thing.
Yeah, an imaginary thing that doesn't even really exist at this moment. The only way that it makes sense to have is if there's no money. But if the money disappears and then they're like, oh, this is the only thing you can use now is cryptocurrency, then it's worth something.
Mm-hmm.
If only people will accept goods and services based on the cryptocurrency, that's how it is. It's like me saying I have a fucking bucket full of butterflies back there, and there's these real special butterflies. We got all these butterflies. There's only a limited amount of these butterflies. So how about you give me all your money? I'm sorry. You give me all your money, and I'll give you a few of these butterflies, and then you can hold on. I'll hold on to the butterflies, but I'll send a message to you on the internet that you have three of these butterflies, and then when you want when a bunch of other people buy the bunch of other butterflies, they're not going to buy them all though because they're too expensive.
So your butterflies will be worth more money.
Yeah, your butterflies at some point will be worth a bunch of money, and then you just trade the butterflies away, and then someone else will give you money when you sell the butterflies. But guess what? You'll never see the butterflies.
Yeah.
But they're in that bucket, I swear. There's a whole bucket. Look at it. There's that bucket right there. There's got a lot of butterflies in there.
I can't open the bucket.
Sorry, my throat's been fucked up for weeks.
What the hell?
So when I get animated, I start coughing for no reason. Sorry. It might be the multitude of delicious wilderness trail.
Mm. Let me just smell that cat one more time.
Smell that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
That's good.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to get me some of that.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to find, so good luck.
Not good.
I got specialty people working on the inside getting me special whiskeys.
He knows people. He has he has many leather-bound books,
yes.
and his house smells of rich mahogany.
That's why I don't have any money, because I spent billions of dollars. All my billions went to these finer things.
You guys can't see it, just like the cryptocurrency,
Yeah.
but Nanner, actually, right now, we're in this mansion.
Yeah.
We can't show it to you, but he lives in this huge mansion with all the finest wares.
Yeah.
And,
For sure.
He's very distinguished. He's a very distinguished
And
gentleman.
I go to different states and I procure specific animals for me to cook.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I eat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't eat vegetables. I don't eat fruits. I don't eat any plants at all. I pick an animal and I name them, and I make sure I have a live feed 24/7 on this animal. And I make sure they do everything I ask them to, feed them exactly what I say to feed them, 24 hours a day. I'm on the line with the animal. And then when it's time to butcher them, I fly down there myself, and I murder that son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And then I eat the fuck out of them.
Just today, he had a pangolin burger.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys had a pangolin burger?
Well, that's fucking delicious. And you feed them, all you feed them is silkworms.
Mm-hmm.
That's the trick. I'm not going to let out too many of my secrets, but yeah, I also had to procure a specific silkworm just to get that specific flavor.
Mm-hmm. The silkworms are very endangered also.
And I procure them, I procure everything, and you slather this sweet meat. You don't even got to cook it. You cook it for like 10 seconds on each side. And you just cut these little thin layers like you just kiss it on the grill. With a little, you get some mahogany, you get some special woods, some pecan wood, and you get some special honeys from Africa that they got a dangle from. They dangle from mountains to get the special honey from these particular
the
bees.
honey makes you go through a spiritual journey.
And you just kiss it, and when you eat it, you just experience a whole nother level of life.
Another thing people don't know about Nanner is he actually has like another dwelling in this mansion where like people lower than him stay, and they're like more or less like a pet to him than a human.
Yeah.
He's got a Jeffy pig. He's got who's that person? Who's that?
Oh, you're talking little salamander.
Yeah. Oh, and Critter.
Yeah,
Critter's under there.
Critter, you got a little baby sass.
Yeah.
Critters, baby sasses, little salamander. I snap that tail off whenever I want. Snap that tail. Snap. Give me that tail.
This place you can't see.
Yeah.
We can't show you. And the location in itself is a secret. Not many people know about it. But this place is prestigious.
That's why it's hard to get here. Sometimes it's on lockdown for weeks. Because some of my creatures or some of my wares get loose.
Nanner's got a wall that's got holes in it. And every day, daily, different women come and they paint their boobs gold and they stick their boobs through the holes. And there's always, throughout the day, they're switching. Yeah. Switching. Not one day.
I'm just saying yes or no. I know you got to dwindle it down because there's hundreds of thousands of people that come through. And they gotta make it look a certain way. And if I don't like it, they just go out the door. But if I like it, they make it to round 2, maybe round 3, maybe round 4, maybe round 5. This goes on all year until December 31st. I finally pick one, and then I just blow my load on them, and that's it. There's only one.
There's a ceremony on it. It's actually it sounds.
It's not even cheating. That's
no.
My wife doesn't even care because I spent all this time procuring everything to a specific measurement that I need. And it's not cheating because I don't touch them. I just
Yeah. And it's part of a ceremony, and it
Yeah.
brings good fortune.
And the women, when they pull their tits out, they're allowed to save my semen
Mm-hmm.
if they want to.
Mm-hmm.
But I hear a lot of them just eat it. They just can't help themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Just lick it off.
They scoop it.
Yeah. You know, they like to get it while it's still warm.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. They never see my face.
It's a crazy ceremony. I've been to 4 of them.
Yeah.
Um,
He hasn't made it through round 2 yet.
No, but yeah, I'm just gonna say, guys, it's life changing.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I think one day you might have a shot.
Yeah.
Told him he's got to eat more donuts.
You know, very famous people from all around the world hope to get invites to come to it.
Yeah. Oh, I heard that Shailene Woodley and Aaron Rodgers, they were going to get married, but they broke up.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually heard that they broke up because she made it to round 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She was like, "Fuck Aaron Rodgers, I'm already halfway there almost."
Yeah. You know, it's crazy. You know, like like in Willy Wonka when they got the candy bars and the tickets, and everybody's going through crazy measures to get those.
Mm-hmm.
That's just half of what these people go through to try to get invites to this ceremony.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I've seen some crazy stuff. This one lady, when what was it, 4 years ago? She after they did the announcements of the last wave of invites, this one lady went right to the top of the stratosphere, just jumped off because she didn't want to live anymore.
Yeah. There's really no sense. Like, that's what the life of an NANNER is that you bring people up and they just fall down.
Yeah.
That's 90% of it. Not 99% of it. Like, not many people get the chance to gaze upon a true NANNER or even get the shot at it. Just the thought of it brings out, the best of them.
Mm-hmm.
The spirit, the fighting spirit. That's what I like.
It's crazy, like the circle the circle of how everything goes in the world around you. You know, like the smallest little bee going to the flower to get the honey, to get to the honey to Brazil, to the and then the people pick the honey, and then the honey makes it to your pangolin burger, and just all the way, and all that goes through that, like, helps the economy, helps people's, bring money to the table for their kids, and it's all because of you.
Mm-hmm. I don't mean to brag or anything. It's just how it is.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not easy, sitting in your shadow every day, but it's something I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's got to do it, and I'm honored to be standing in your shadow.
Thank you.
Yeah,
appreciate that.
Yeah. Sometimes it's kind of hard being so close to somebody like him because you don't know who your real friends are. Like, sometimes people, when they find out, who I am and who I'm acquainted with, they kind of pretend to be my friend or pretend to, care.
Because they think they can get somewhere near.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen.
Yeah. I've had to go to counseling for it. I'm not going to lie. It's hard. I've got a really tight circle, small circle. I've had to cut a lot of people out.
I have a small circle too.
Mm-hmm.
Never had to go to counseling for it because it's just the way I like it.
I've come to like it. It's better this way.
Mm-hmm. And so many people, everybody has an agenda these days. There's no just person.
It's crazy. My own 5-year-old daughter, she was born just to try to get, a glimpse of you.
Well, she just wants to get. She heard that there was a prize if you punch an NANNER in the stomach hard enough to make them puke.
Yeah,
I get a special prize.
I just had to disown her because of it. I was just like, it's not happening. Nobody, I don't care who you are, man. You try to play me like that, I can't believe she was born just so that could
Yeah,
happen.
that's crazy. Every time I see her, it's just like, oh, that's the Nana in
Yeah,
the
I caught
bag.
on quick though, and I was like, no, no, that's not happening.
Even my own son, it turns out that he, like, I didn't even put this in his brain. Like, I have this design for this ginormous restaurant business.
Hmm.
And turns out he was born just to become a chef in my restaurant. Like, he doesn't even want to do anything else.
Where do these people like get, like, how? Like, that's
I don't
crazy,
know.
man. Like,
He's working. He quit school. Well, he graduated, but he could have gone on to be a smarter engineer, all kinds of stuff. And he
hmm
just fell into just cooking good food. And he's going to just work his way up till he's a good enough chef
hmm
to make my food.
hmm
And then what can I do about it? I can't do anything. It's just the nanner. It's just the power of the nanner.
hmm
Had I never come upon this power, it's like a superhero that he's bolstered by the powers of others.
hmm
Like he doesn't even have his own real power,
hmm
but because others just come together and create this power source that makes the nanner what it is.
hmm Exactly. Exactly. I just remember that time when we were kids and we were riding our bikes, and I was probably like 9. I think you were like 12, and we were crossing the street, and no cars were even near us, but that one guy could sense how important you were, and even though there weren't any cars near us, and we had already crossed the street, he made sure to stand in the middle of the road and protect you
Oh yeah,
until that semi came and hit him.
yeah.
He was like, "No!"
Yeah.
And we were just like, "What the hell?" We didn't realize the magnitude of it then, but now it was like he wanted to make sure that semi didn't hit you.
But there probably wasn't a chance because we didn't even cross the street.
hmm
But he just, out of his own thing, was like, there's no possibility of this happening. I have to stop this semi
Yeah.
because it's just too close to you.
hmm If anybody's gonna get hit by it, he needed to make sure he did, because he didn't like the idea of the possibility.
Or anyone else saving me.
And that was like the first time anything like that happened. But like over the years, like
Yeah.
it's been hundreds of times everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people in Florida right now jumping off buildings just to make sure that Nanner doesn't jump off that building.
Oh yeah. There's
It's,
people, like, I've never done heroin. There's all these heroin addicts all over the country that do heroin purposely just so I don't have to do the heroin and they die from it.
hmm It's crazy.
Like that's why there's so many rehab centers across the world, because I had to fund these rehab programs in order to save these people from themselves, because they automatically just want to do all the drugs to save me.
It's crazy, man.
Like every state I go in, it doesn't happen if they don't see me. It usually doesn't happen. They just live their lives. But as soon as I cross into an area, they just see me and they're like, "Fuck, I got to do cocaine today," because Nanner, I think he's gonna go and possibly do cocaine today.
Yeah.
I gotta stop it by doing all the cocaine.
Yep.
And they buy a shit ton of it, ruin their families. And I'm trying really hard to help these people. Just trying so hard. It's really a burden on me.
Yeah. There's like these people that are like pre-ejaculators.
Yeah.
Those people exist for Nanner because they want. So like when Nanner ejaculates, everybody's like, "Man, he lasted a really long time," because these pre-ejaculators,
Or pre-jackers.
Yep.
The pre-jacks.
The pre-comers.
Nanner is a power. Great power becomes great responsibility.
Mhm.
Oh, but I do want to talk. You've seen the Spider-Man movie. I know you did. I finally saw it.
I didn't see it,
Oh, you didn't
but
see
you
it?
can talk about whatever.
Oh,
I
I
don't
thought you
care.
said you saw it.
I was probably gonna, but I never did. But we can still talk about it. I don't care. I don't care about spoiler. I pretty much know everything about it anyway.
It's extremely disappointing to me.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that we talked about this, but I already pretty much know like the basics of it and stuff. And in my opinion, I think the sole purpose of the whole creation of this movie and the way it was written was just so Sony could take over Spider-Man again.
Well,
That was the only reasoning
yeah,
behind it.
because Sony wants to do all these other movies.
Yeah.
They got Venom. They got X-Men coming. They got the Morbius. They got just all this other shit. Sinister Six.
Yeah.
They got the Andrew Garfield characters, and they got the Tobey Maguire characters. They got all this, and they just made this movie to do that. And that's really what it seemed like, because really what the movie was a series of elongated. It's like 2 hours, 35, 2 hours and 40 minutes. Something. And I think probably 2/3 of the movie is just people like I don't know, like either sad moments or happy moments, just staring at each other.
Kind of like at the end of Lord of the Rings, the third.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's how I told it. It was like I want the movie to end, but why do you have to stare at me for there's cops coming in to kill you, and Aunt May dies and you're standing over her body for like 5 minutes crying. Like, get the fuck out of there. And then after that, then the other Spider-Man come and your friends come and meet you on a rooftop, and then there's another 5 minutes of fucking crying. It's like that's 10 minutes of a movie you could just cut.
Mm-hmm.
No one needs it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, everybody knows you're going to be sad about it. Like, you don't need to show us your
30 seconds, you're done. That's it. Oh, man, I wish I could have done more for you.
Yeah, the whole purpose of the whole movie, all it was to get rid of the Marvel Spider-Man and bring it back to Sony. That's the whole purpose of the movie.
But I think this is, I may have talked about this in the back, I don't remember. We talk about so much stuff so fast, sometimes I forget. But things about, especially about superhero movies, is that superhero movies, you'll make a good one, like Avengers Endgame, the first one, or Infinity War.
Yeah.
Yeah. Infinity War was a really good movie, and did have a lot of characters in it, but they took the time to keep the characters together for the movie, so it wasn't like the whole movie was like separated into 20 different stories.
Mm-hmm.
But with these types of movies, like a lot of the X-Men movies, you just got 30 different characters, and you can't have a good movie because you got too much stuff going on at the same time. So how are you going to have a good Spider-Man movie when you got 3 Spider-Man, then you got like 7 fucking villains, and you got to tie in Spider-Man's friends, and you got J. Jonah Jameson, you got to have his little parts in there, then you got Flash Gordon, then you got, I'm trying to think of who else is in there, then you got Doctor Strange, his part in the story, and they kind of just put him in, take him out, put him in, take him out, and that's his part of the story, and then...
It's funny because... It's just funny because, like, the worst part, in my opinion, about the third Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire was that there was just too many villains, and that, and it's just funny because, like, I just see them like, where did we go wrong with the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 3? Where did we go wrong? We didn't have enough villains.
So we'll put more.
We'll put them all together. That's got to be enough.
Yeah, it's terrible.
They need to stick with, like, one villain per movie.
Yeah.
Like, stop trying to put them all.
Like, you can have 2 villains, like you could do, the way the cartoons were was normally good. Back to the old cartoons, not the new ones. The old cartoons where you'd have, like, Kingpin's in it. And then Kingpin's running the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
So you got the Green Goblin's the main person. The Kingpin can be in it. But that's basically the story for that episode.
Yep.
And you need to stick to that. Like, the second the second Spider-Man was good. They had
Doc Ock.
well, not that. The newer ones. You had the fucking second one
Mysterio.
was Mysterio, yeah. And that was the main villain. There wasn't really anybody else.
Yep.
And then the first one had I don't know why my brain's farting.
I can't remember.
Vulture.
Oh, yeah.
The Vulture.
Yeah.
And you had the Vulture and you had a couple auxiliary characters here and there. But it wasn't, that's basically what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it was they were both decent.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't the greatest ever. But it's a lot easier to tell a story when you got the simple story. And then they start adding in, like the second one started to get messy because then you add in his best friend, you got all his school friends are on a school trip. They do this, Iron Man, and then Happy gets in a relationship with his mom. You got Aunt May, and Aunt May should just be an auxiliary character for support when he's sad and things like that, but they try to make her too much of it. And then this one's got all those people, and a shit ton of villains, and all these other characters. And during the time, they talk about other characters while they're talking to each other. Like, I know the Avengers. Who's the Avengers? Like, that's stuff that you don't even need in the movie.
You know what? One movie I don't know if I'll even watch is The Eternals.
I did watch that, and it's not good.
No, it didn't look good. It looked like...
Not good.
First of all, looked like too much CGI. Way too much CGI. Second of all...
The bad guys all CGI.
It's like, it's like they're like, they were here all along.
Yeah.
But where were they? Well, they could only come help if these one creatures came to attack.
Yeah.
None of the others. They were here the whole time. When in reality, it's more like they're just like, oh man, we got all these old A-list actors that used to be really famous but aren't anymore, and they're pissed because they haven't gotten any roles for any of these movies yet. Let's just make up a movie for them and just throw it together.
Like, but it's gonna change the entire Marvel universe.
So stupid. It looks dumb.
It is. It's that whole... It reminds me of like the Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer movie, where there's no real plot to it.
Yeah.
Like, you basically follow these characters over time. They've lived all this time, and all the people know who they are. The Eternals, and they've saved everybody forever, and then they all eventually are like, hey, let's just not hang out anymore. They don't see each other for thousands of years, and then some of them love humans, and some of them don't care. And then the ones that were like really strong, they're going crazy or die, and then they go to try to figure out what happened, and all these creatures come back, and then one of them is more powerful because he's absorbing people's powers and things. It's just, it has no plot that you can't figure out in 2 seconds before the movie even starts. And you're like, oh, there's a superpower within the Earth, and we gotta stop that, or the Earth dies. But there's a billion other fucking planets that they could go to and save them. Who cares? But humans are so great.
Yeah.
And then but then they're fighting, like at the beginning, they're fighting and they're having trouble killing these creatures. Then the second time they come around, the regular ones, they just slap the shit out of them. They're like, and some of the characters all of a sudden don't have any good powers. And then the one that's the bad one that turns out to be the bad one of their group, he's got all the power now. Now he's way stronger and he can kick all their asses. So stupid. Doesn't make any sense. Like, the least amount of interesting writing possible to make a movie about superheroes.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen that other movie yet either, the 10 Rings or whatever.
Oh, Shang-Chi is... It had its moments. It's just, again, 90% uninspired, and it's just they're trying to do too much with characters that probably need a lot more time to make a movie out of. Mm-hmm. And they just flow you in. Like, the best part of the whole movie is Ben Kingsley, because Ben Kingsley, of course, was in the Iron Man movie.
The fake Mandarin.
The fake Mandarin, yeah. And he's still the same person in this movie. And he actually is the best part of the whole movie. He's still in it as the same character. And that's funny. But I don't want to give that away. You watch it, but it's basically just the stupid shit, the 10 rings, and the guy doesn't want anything to do with his dad because he's an asshole, and there's a secret city that they can only get to if they find out the secret. And they go there, and then the dad's trying to stop. But he could have done this the whole time, but he needed a son who didn't know how to get there to get there. I don't know. It's just stupid shit. It's just same old shit. There's just weird characters, like weird creatures, and
Did I tell you?
it's like the first half of the movie is pretty good, and then it gets to all the dumb shit.
Did I tell you? I saw the preview. I was real excited because I heard they were making a new Blade movie.
Oh yeah.
And then they're like, it's going to be a different guy playing Blade. And I saw the character, the guy, I can't remember his name, but he's somewhat of a famous person.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could deal with that. And I was really optimistic about it. And then I saw the preview for the new Blade movie, and it looks horrible. It looks like, remember when they tried to make a new Lost Boys movie? And it was, it was kind of like that. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Like the cheesiest concept version of the same movie.
Yeah. So that sucks.
They're like, we can't redo the movie, but
I kept hearing that they were going to make like a Sam and Twitch show or a movie or something, and then I heard that they were going to do a Spawn one. I haven't seen anything.
Well, they still work on that, but because his idea, I don't think lines up with what the movies want. Like, he actually wants to make a good movie that's out of his mind, but none of the people want to make that movie.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to do good enough
Yeah.
in their minds for him to be famous. But everybody's turning. I do want to talk about that. Like, you know I hate DC. And most DC movies are awful.
I'm the same way.
DC everything, like, even the shows, the newer shows like the Titans. Titans turned out to be okay in the first season, and it started to get really cheesy. Then they moved it back. I don't know what it's technically on, but it's on my HBO Max or whatever. And it's a little better, but it's still kind of cheesy. It's more dark again, like it was in the first season that they did it. But then they came out with that second version of Suicide Squad. And I think I told you about the movie, and you never hadn't seen it yet. But the movie, the first 20 minutes of the movie is hilarious, and then the rest of the movie is kind of dumb. It's not even that great. And bad creature thing in it is stupid.
Yeah, starfish.
Yeah, it's just stupid shit. But parts of it are good. There's parts of it that are good, and it's fairly funny, and it's okay. But then they decided to do a whole series on Showtime or Cinemax or whatever it is. I don't know. Showtime, I think. With the Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Peacemaker is funny as fuck.
I heard it's really good.
Yeah. Even, like, most shows, they got intros and stuff, and you always skip the intro. This one, every time I play the episode, I watch the intro because the intro's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I heard it's pretty funny. And he's got like a bird named Eagly.
Eagly, yeah. And they make fun of him. They're like, what are you going to name your kid?
Kitty?
Childly or something. Or, yeah. Some stupid shit.
Yeah, I heard it's
Daughterly or some shit. I can't remember what this. But yeah, it's fucking funny. I like it. But it's different. Like, they took... That's the only thing I don't like about it. Like, the Peacemaker that's at the end of the Suicide Squad is totally different than the character he plays on this show. That's the only bad thing. But it's funnier this way. It's funnier.
Yeah, well, that's kind of just like how Thor used to be in the first Avengers movies, and then they changed him.
He's Thor, and then all of a sudden he's like some goofy guy.
Yeah. And I like him better like that. Yeah. I like the newer Thor better than... Dude, I hadn't watched the first Thor movie since it first came out. And he looked crazy. He almost looked like albino. His eyebrows are so blonde, they almost look non-existent. And I'm like, oh, I couldn't even watch it. I was like, this is horrible, man. Like, this is
some of the acting, even like the first Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
It's like, it's still an okay movie, but it's like, just the pace of it and things like that is just off. You know, like, this is such a weird... Some of these movies are so weird.
Yeah, like how they evolved over time, like from what they were to what they are now.
And the characters, and I was talking about in the first Wolverine origin movie, where they totally fucked Wolverine and Deadpool. And Wolverine's blades were so huge.
They looked
CGI.
like the sword. They looked like the sword from Roger Rabbit, the cartoon sword. That's how.
He's looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
It's so fake and moving. And
he's going like this. He's going shing shing. The sparks are coming off. I swear, dude, that looked just like a cartoon blades, like from. It looked just like Roger Rabbit. Yeah. Oh man!
I like Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, I love that movie. It's still good now. That movie was ahead of its time. That movie.
Shave and hair.
Yeah, that movie was ahead of its time by far. Like, I don't think they could ever make a movie like that again.
The baby's always trying to get the cookie jar, and then he's like, "Get the cigar, God, get the fuck out of here,
my stogie, no." Come on, Toots.
Come on, Toots, push me over here.
Yeah, that movie is gold. I love that movie. It sucks that Bob Hoskins is dead, because I guarantee you, if he hadn't died as early, because of how desperate Hollywood is, they would have tried to make another. And it's probably better that they hadn't. Honestly, they probably fuck it up. So it's probably better.
Back then, people didn't have any shame about making a movie interesting.
Yeah.
And now it's got to be, on top of that, it's got to be the stupid woke culture bullshit.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure you don't piss people off. And that's what I like. That's where the direction, I see it. The light is shining just a little bit with movies, and that's what I'm talking about with like the Peacemaker. Like DC, all their movies have been woke bullshit and no interest. Like the Batman movies were pretty good with what's his name?
Christian Bale.
They were a little bit better, but they still were toned down a little bit. And then they changed it. They did the new Batman, and he's retarded with stupid Ben Affleck.
Anything he touches,
yeah,
it's fucked up.
He has a couple really good movies. We'll give him that. Did you ever see the one? I wish I could remember what it's called. Where he's autistic, and he's like he works for this company that taught him as an autistic kid how to be normal, and basically hired him as like a killer, like a contract killer. Yeah, that's a good movie.
See, I mean, I like Ben Affleck. I like him, and there's movies I like with him, but like, I just feel like he hasn't had a very good run in the past 15 years.
No,
and
he's not in a whole lot of good movies. Gone Baby.
Yeah,
that was a pretty good movie.
Argo was okay.
Yeah,
I mean, it was,
but it's a true story. So
yeah,
not much you can do with that.
What was this? I honestly did not think he was a bad Daredevil. I just thought the movie sucked.
Yeah,
I thought he was okay. I don't think that the movie sucked because of him. I just think it sucked because of everything else.
Well, his problem in most of his movies is that he's got that perma smile on his face. So he fucking, no matter what he is, he's always got a little smirk. He's always been a little happier than most people because he's probably getting laid by all these people. Jennifer Lopez, fucking, what's her name?
Jennifer Garner.
He just likes
Jennifers. Yeah.
You got to be Benefers.
Yeah, yeah.
Give me a Benefer. And then, but he's in that movie that I was talking about with Anna Kendrick. And she's not super hot, but she's built good, and she's kind of pretty. She's like a funny girl in a lot of comedy movies.
See, I liked the movie Voices with Ryan Reynolds.
Voices?
And that's got Anna Kendrick in it, too. Yeah. Where Ryan Reynolds works at a place that makes I think they make bathtubs or something. And he works in the warehouse, and Anna Kendrick works in the offices, but he doesn't have a crush on her. She has a crush on him, but he has a crush on this really preppy girl or whatever. Anyway,
maybe I've never seen that.
He ends up you find out that he's a crazy serial killer. I don't want
Oh,
to. I don't want to give up.
makes me want to see it though.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's really good. You'd love it. And it's funny because he's got a cat and a dog. And it's called Voices because he hears voices and stuff. He's got a cat and a dog, and he does the voices of the cat and the dog, but they're different voices than
So
him.
it's like the Pokemon movie, but he's the Pokemon master, and Pokemon
oh
is
really?
his voices.
I didn't see that.
Well, he plays Pikachu in
Okay.
the Pokemon movie.
Yeah, the cat like has a German accent. He's like, "What are you doing? Why don't you fucking hurry up and feed me, you fuck? I haven't eaten in days."
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
And the dog's like, "Hey, buddy, I've been missing you." And that's how they talk. And it's good, man. You got to watch it. I've watched it multiple times. It's a really good movie.
I watched that Nicolas Cage movie, Pig.
Oh.
It was kind of stupid, but it was also interesting.
Oh yeah, it's on Hulu, isn't it?
Yeah.
I haven't watched that. I want to watch that.
It's not bad. It's just different.
I want to watch that movie Mandy. Everybody's always talked about Mandy, and then there's another one called like Willy's something.
Yeah, Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah,
I heard it's good, but he doesn't talk at all in the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like like a Chuck E. Cheese or something, and it's kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's mixed with real life or whatever. And anyway.
I do want to see his new movie coming out.
What's that?
Where he plays himself.
Oh, I don't know. Is it kind of like being John Malkovich or whatever?
Something like that. Like they're trying to get him a role in a new movie to revive his career.
That kind of reminds me of like there's a Bruce Campbell movie like that where like he plays himself, and this town thinks he's a real person, like he's a real like superhero, and they're like, we have this samurai ghost that's haunting our town and stuff, and he's like
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, and he's like, but he thinks it's for a movie. He doesn't think it's real, so he comes there, and then he's like, this is real, and they're like, you said you'd help us, and he's like, I'm just an actor, I'm not real, but he ends up fighting it anyway and killing it or whatever. I can't remember the movie's name. Speaking
of Bruce Campbell, I don't know if he's even in it, but they got a new Evil Dead movie coming out.
Really?
Yeah. Evil Dead 5.
Huh, I didn't know that. I watched the first 2 seasons of Ash vs. Evil Dead, and I loved those. I haven't watched the 3rd season yet.
I can't remember if I did or not.
But I loved the first 2 seasons. I liked
a lot. My favorite episode of the whole thing is when he goes to the sperm bank to donate the sperm.
I can't remember that.
It was got the sperm bottles are broken all over, and the hands going through the sperm.
Oh, I can't remember
his dick, and he has to stick his hand through the body. And shit. It's got the dick dangling while he's going over his arm and shit, and the hands like dragging him across the floor with all the sperm.
Oh, I don't think I remember that. I'm gonna have to rewatch that.
It's so fucking funny. It's the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Man, I'm gonna have to rewatch that. I can't remember that at all. But yeah, there's a lot of funny parts. I love that show. It's so good. They did a really good job.
Oh, yeah.
I loved in the beginning.
First episode, yeah.
Yeah, when he's like...
He's fucking that girl.
Yeah, he's trying to explain to her. He's like, I saved a kid.
He's got the hand.
The wooden hand. Yeah.
That's a good show.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell's awesome.
It's too bad he's getting old.
Yeah, I know.
He'll have to die one day. We'll be talking about Bruce Campbell on our show.
I hope that's far from now, though. It sucks because, like, one thing that really irritates me is, like, he really had a really good, him and the cast making the first movies really had such a great time doing it, and they made, like, a time capsule and filled all the stuff from the movie in the time capsule and buried it where the cabin was, and some fucker found out where it was and dug it all up and stole it all. That pisses me off. I'm just like, why the fuck would you do that? If you're a real fan, clearly the person who did it was not a real fan. Because if you were a real fan, you wouldn't do that.
See, I think that... So I don't think they've come out with a whole lot of press about the new Evil Dead movie, but from what it sounded like from just the words that are on the thing, has something to do with going back to the original cabin, like a new group of people in the original cabin.
I mean, it'll be all right. I liked the newest one they did. up until the end.
Yeah.
Because it was just like it almost seemed like they ran out of budget to make it longer, and they had to end it. So they were just like, well, I guess this is what we're gonna do. Because like the whole time the buildup was like, because they didn't want this one creature to come back, and if they had so many deadites, then it'd come back, and then it finally did, and it died easier than any of the other deadites. Like,
that's how most movies are.
yeah, like it literally lasted for like a minute. It came out and it was like, they couldn't even walk. It was like dragging itself, and then they just chainsawed it in half or whatever. And I'm like,
it reminds me, going back to the superhero movies, the newest of the Fantastic Four movies. Spent all this time. They actually got the coolest Doctor Doom, where his face is all melted to the skin, so he doesn't have a mask. He's actually metal, and he's like murdering everybody in the thing. And then they go back to the planet, and he's out there, and they go and they're like, "We can't beat him." He almost kills them all, and then they're like, "Yeah, but let's team up."
Yeah.
They're like, "Finally, we'll work together," and they kill him in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Really? That's all it took?" They're just like, "Hey. End of the movie. We'll just come together." Dead.
Yeah, it was dumb.
Doesn't make any sense.
No.
Doctor Doom don't die.
Mm-mm.
He lives on.
Well, technically, he didn't die because at the end,
they
had him in like a crate or whatever, and then it showed as the statue, and it's like bzz, bzz,
still,
and whatever.
Still, yeah. It's just so
I know
stupid.
what you mean.
It's just the worst ending you could possibly think of for a movie.
When
you build up to the bad guy,
yeah,
and you get to the end, it can't be the shortest scene in the whole movie.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. But other than that, that movie was good. I really liked all the gore
the
scenes.
First guy when he's going crazy writing messages and shit.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
I liked all that. They did it good.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like I said. I feel like they used up all their budget and they didn't have enough film and stuff, and they're just like, we gotta end this.
A lot of times, shit like that. Like they have an idea where they want to go, and they haven't finalized it, and then they like, let's figure this ending out. It's got to be pretty good, and then they do so many takes, and they're like,
Well, one thing a lot of movies I didn't put into thought was that a lot of times they make the ending first, and I don't know why they do it. One reason maybe is because like just to ensure they have the ending in case like an actor something happens to one of the actors or something. But the only thing I think it was maybe they had that ending done first, and it just
couldn't go back.
Yeah,
that would suck.
But yeah,
it's a dumb idea to do it. Just figure out another way to do it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a good movie. I would like, if they could, if they don't, that's fine too. But I would like them to make another one from when he goes back to S-Mart after the Army of Darkness, because at the Army of Darkness,
that's where he gets the chainsaw.
Yeah, he goes back in time. And then at the end, he gets brought back to the future from the portal or whatever. And then he's in the S-Mart, and he's like talking to the chick, and he's like, "Yeah, and that's how that happened," or whatever. And then that one chick was like, and they fight or whatever. It'd be cool to go start from right there. But if you think about it in a way, Ash vs. Evil Dead kind of starts off from right there. Like it almost kind of intertwines, even though he's younger in that part. It kind of matches that because he works at S-Mart there. So I wonder if that's what they kind of did.
Probably. I think that's what he meant to do.
Yeah.
And it was the Army of Darkness after that.
What? Tell you what?
Oh boy.
I'm just been tired lately, man.
I'm fucking tired. I didn't sleep yet. I gotta work early.
I just haven't been. I've been getting enough sleep. I just haven't. I've just been tired. I don't know.
I know, I'm tired of everything.
Sometimes existing just tires me out.
Mm-hmm. Just having children at this house tires me out. It needs to be like You need to create like a thing where you can just blast the children, they freeze in time. What was that? I don't remember what that is. There was an old show where people you'd shoot them and they'd freeze, and then it had like looked like on an old VHS tape when you paused it with the lines.
Yeah.
And then be like frozen. Like,
I vaguely remember that.
But that would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I could just get back to them, and they wouldn't die or anything. Mm-hmm. Just freeze them for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And go back to it when you've done all the things you need to get done.
Mm-hmm.
Children are hell these days in life. I mean, the good news is, like, in the government, like, a lot of these people are in their, like, late 80s, but that's my problem with letting people live so long. We've gotten to a point where we let people live fucking too long.
Mm-hmm.
Let them die.
Plus, why are you, like...
Bob Saget dies and he's 65, but Nancy Pelosi's, like, 85.
Why are people, like, that old allowed to be in charge of shit? These people...
They can't even pass a driver's test.
Old people are put in homes and shit and, like, get mental disorders and stuff for, you know, like, there's people that age in homes and stuff. Why are you letting them make these important decisions?
It's because they're all related in a way. It's like the government's...
We can't get rid of Tom. He's our cousin.
Yeah, you're cousin Tom.
Remember, we can't have him go. He was in the orgy.
Remember when I changed the diapers in 1936?
Stupid.
He just turned 70.
Yeah,
He's
I don't
got
understand.
his whole life ahead of him.
I understand why you have to be so old to be president, but I don't understand why you can be older than a certain age to be president. Like, it should be like mid-40s to like 70.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be any. You should not be able to be president if you're any older than 70.
Should probably be, because you can only get to be president for 8 years, so there should be this 8-year minimum.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be president when you're 40, and then you cannot be president after you're 50.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a nice young, willing president,
mm-hmm.
and he's got a good amount of years left, and when he's done, he's still a fairly young person, can move on. And they age double whatever they're going to be, unless they're Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
He looks exactly the same.
Yeah, he's like, give me the blood.
He probably lost pounds eating McDonald's.
Donald Trump lives off the blood of people, though. He's like, oh, hey, I really need some more blood. This is good blood. You know, this is good blood.
It's real good blood.
It's really good.
I love it. I endorse it.
Everybody
it's the best blood. I have the biggest hands. The biggest hands, I can hold the biggest cup of blood.
Yeah. Oh, schnishny.
Schning. Schnini. I still go around every kitty I see. Like, oh, damn bad kitty. Bad old kitty right there.
Oh, damn kitty be so bad. Damn bad boy. Damn bad boy.
Bad old kitty.
I take my kitty, and he likes it when I do this. It's not a torture. I grab my kitty by his head, and my thumbs go underneath his chin.
Yeah.
My thumbs do. And these fingers right here tuck his ears back like this, so his ears are tucked back. Then I slide my thumbs up, and I put them against his cheeks right here and pull his lips up so I can see his teeth. And then I go, oh, you little boy. And I rub his teeth against my nose like this. And then I tap his nose against my nose, and I go, oh, that little boy. Oh, that little boy. And he loves it.
Loves it. Said I used to take my kitty, take its hind legs and lift them up to its face, then take its head and lift it down towards its crotch, and then I would take the other legs and smash them over its head, so then I'd have a little head between the legs, a little head, and I'd be like, goddamn bad kitty! Bad old kitty! And I would just do that, and she'd be like, and then as soon as I sat down, she'd jump on my lap and fall asleep.
Yeah, my kitty, after I do that, I drop him down or whatever, and then he stands up and puts his paws up on my legs like, come on, do it again. Do it again. No.
So funny.
No more. Not right now. I'll rub my nose on your teeth later.
Cats.
Oh, damn little boy. Damn.
They're bad kitties.
Mm-hmm.
Kitties are bad. He's like, "You're a bad old kitty," and she would jump up on him from outside.
My cat, when I have cereal, he watches me, and then as soon as I get all my cereal gone, then I drink all the. I start to drink my milk. As soon as I start to drink the milk like this, he goes and he puts his paw up like, no, you gotta save that for me. Hey, you're drinking. Hey, you're drinking too much. And then I gotta leave a little bit left in the bowl, and I give it to him, and he drinks it. If you leave too much, he won't drink it. It's got to be the perfect amount. It's just got to cover the very bottom of the bowl, and it's got to be like this much. Yeah, but it's just funny because he watches you, and as soon as you start drinking, he's like, "Hey, no." Oh, that little kitty. Oh, that little kitty. Oh, that little kitty.
Bill Carter!
Yeah.
Bill Carter!
They just go. If you do it to a dog, the dog's gonna be like,
dog's scared as fuck.
when you do it to cats, cats are just like,
my dog, you just point at him and he goes.
When you do it to cats, though, cats are just like, meow.
Fucking cats. That's why I can't have a cat, because they deserve to be murdered. Because they're bad.
They're bad.
And I want to kill them.
I love kitties.
I just want to kill it.
My kitty follows me everywhere as I go. He watches.
Said I couldn't sit down. If I sat down and my leg was open, the cat would jump there.
My cat does that too, but I don't mind. He watches me with intent all the time too. Everywhere I go, he's watching me with intent. Like any moment he's gonna sit down and I'm gonna be on that leg, a nice warm leg.
Like it was the most uncomfortable spot. Like she wouldn't lay down. She can just get in that perch position.
Turn it to a loaf.
Yeah. In the perch position like this, with her tail curled around her legs. And stand up and I wouldn't move for as long as I sat there. It didn't matter. I could be there for 4 hours.
See, Professor, my cat, he'd go along my leg and then he'd turn into a cat loaf. And he's so light, he don't weigh hardly nothing that I would just forget he was there.
Mine wouldn't be in a loaf because she'd be standing up.
Yeah.
You know, like they do when they're standing on a cardboard box.
Mm-hmm.
I never understand that about cats either. That they stand on cardboard boxes.
Mm-hmm. Anything new that he sees, he has to stand on. If something new enters the house, it doesn't matter what it is. He's got to stand on it. It could be a receipt. I could drop a receipt on the ground, and he'd have to go up and stand on it.
Have all of its legs inside of it.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
Don't matter what it is. He's got to.
Proud.
Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, mine was obsessed with cardboard boxes, and pizza. So if you eat pizza, it would attack you. Mm-hmm. For the pizza, and if you put the pizza box on the floor, it would stand on or lay in the pizza box.
Pizza.
Doesn't make any sense. Murdering kitties.
Murder them kitties.
Okay,
murder them kitties.
Hi, I'm John C. Riley here.
Oh.
I'm John C. Riley. Look at me. I got a roll on my... I can't do it. There we go. See, I'm John C. Riley.
John C. Riley.
Don't hate me, John C. Riley, if somehow you watch this. I love you.
I've been trying
I'm John C. Riley.
I'm trying to work on voices, but... So I want to learn Morgan Freeman so bad.
I tried to do Morgan Freeman from time to time, but I'm not perfect.
I wanted to see, my friend.
I'd like to say...
I like to say he had a good day.
I'd like to say
he got away.
Yeah. I'd like to say Andy fought the good fight. I'd like to say Andy got away and the sisters left him alone. I'd like to say. But life isn't a fairy tale. There are no good endings.
Get busy living or get busy dying.
Get busy living or get busy dying. Yeah, I can't do it, but...
You're closer to me. If I try hard, I do get really close. But I got to get some voices. There's a few other ones I want to work on, too.
I can do Schmeagol. Schmeagol.
You've done the Schmeagol on it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
I like to get in there. Get there good. You know, I like to get in there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm like a...
Oh, yeah, I heard a guy the other day. It was funny. Or maybe it was today even, or yesterday. He's like from Kentucky, and they're fighting against, I think it was today, fighting against like the coal plants. He's like, he's from Eastern Kentucky. Eastern Kentucky can't take things no more. Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll know what? Hey. Bah.
I never understand that about states. Like when I went to school in, I don't remember, 3rd or 4th grade, I went to school in southern Ohio, right on the border of Ohio and West Virginia. The people down there had a honky-tonk accent. They were like, you got any brothers or sisters? I said, yeah, I got a brother named Don. And they're like, Don? Don? I'm like, no, Don. Don. No, his name's Don, not Don. I'm like, no, his name is Don, not Don. And that's how they talk, Don. But I never understood that. Like, Ohio is not the South.
Yeah, well, it's crazy because
Indiana is not the South.
There's some people in Michigan that grew up in Michigan that talk like that.
Yeah, I know.
I don't understand it. Like, when I worked at the last job, there's a guy named Steve Aney's that I work with. And
shout out to Steve Aney's.
Steve Aney's. I like you, Steve, if you're watching this. And awesome guy. But he's from Michigan, and this is how he talks. Hey, Ryan, how are you?
Hey, Ryan, I grew up in suburbs of Detroit.
I'm from Holland, Michigan.
I'm from Howland.
How does he talk like that?
It doesn't make any sense.
I mean...
People get accents in the weirdest places.
Yeah.
Go to Texas, I expect a little bit of a twang. I'm from Texas. Texas. Alabama.
There's people I've met from Texas that don't have any accent.
Don't have any accent. Hardly.
I don't understand it.
Like a Matthew McConaughey. He's got like I'm Matthew McConaughey.
Like real slight.
Twirl my fingies.
Fingies. I'm friends with Woody Harrelson.
We're going to drive here on this Lincoln. Drive on a Lincoln. And I'm going to be in the show with Woody Harrelson. He's going to be the only one that gets some hot titties in his mouth.
Yeah. Oh, man. Don't even make me remember that.
I know.
That was it was great, but painful to deal with over and over again.
Like you said, there was a new show that she was in that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I told you about it, I think, on this show.
I became a slave to that clip.
For a while, yeah.
True detective.
It's like once every 6 months, I just gotta check a pic of that out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah. I remember. I'll never forget. 9/11. It's like 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Never forget where I was that day.
I was in my lazy boy.
In my pink lazy boy.
It was
drinking
2:40 in the afternoon. I had a little bit of
Sailor Jerry's.
Yes, I had Sailor
Pepsi.
Jerry. I called my cousin Freak into the room so he could witness such a marvel. Oh, we're frozen.
I wonder if we're actually frozen. Oh, no. All right. Well,
that's probably good anyway.
We'll probably pick the audio and see what happens. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, let's end it here.
All right.
It's a shorter episode, but it'll do.
Uh-huh.
And we'll continue this hopefully soon.
Mm-hmm.
We love you all.
Bye.
Like, subscribe, fucking comment. Send me mind4ucd@gmail.com. Not dot. mind4ucd@gmail.com. Go there. Email me your bad comments and then put the good comments on YouTube. Go to the Facebook, Freaking Nanner at Instagram. Find us. Twitter, Freaking Nanner on Twitter.
John Stamos.
John Stamos. Keep telling John Stamos he needs to watch the Freaking Nanner show.
Yeah. He's
if you
very
do
good friends
this,
with
I don't
us.
care how many of you there are, 12 of you, 19 of you, I don't care. Hashtag John Stamos, everything. Love you, bye.